December 10th, 2025. If you are tracking the future of computing, today was the day. The day the AI race really stopped being theoretical and became a multi-billion-dollar geopolitical scramble.
It really did.
We are witnessing the largest capital race in history collide directly with an urgent, high-stakes security crisis.
That is the perfect way to frame today's sources. The mission of this deep dive is to quickly give you the essential nuggets from the stack you provided.
Okay.
Because we are moving beyond just general AI enthusiasm and focusing on three critical, connected themes.
Right.
The unprecedented $68 billion infrastructure race happening in India.
$68 billion.
Yeah. Then there's the escalating chip war that's forcing companies like NVIDIA to develop location tracking tech.
And finally, a really sobering acknowledgement from industry leaders.
Exactly. That frontier models now pose a, quote, high cybersecurity risk.
Okay, let's unpack all of this. We'll start with the raw capability breakthroughs, the research papers and models that are pushing the technical envelope.
Let's do it.
Starting with the pursuit of what some are calling super reasoning.
The biggest headline in research today validates a really crucial shift in AI architecture.
Okay.
AI announced a new benchmark record on the humanities last exam, or HLE.
Which is, just as a reminder, the world's most challenging open source reasoning benchmark.
That's the one.
And what's important here isn't just the score, it's how they got it. This wasn't one single enormous model.
No, it was a multi-model orchestration system, and it hit 52.15% accuracy on HLE.
So why is that so strategically important for you to know?
It confirms that these structured ensemble methods, combining the strengths of multiple specialized models, can push past the ceiling of any single frontier model.
Right. It even beat Google's Gemini 3 Pro.
By a lot. Gemini 3 Pro was at 44.66%. This strategy is key for solving complex, long-horizon tasks where error compounding has always been the biggest barrier.
So you don't just need a bigger brain, you need a better organization chart for your AIs. Okay, so if reasoning is unlocked by combining models, we have to make sure those models can actually interact with the world.
Which brings us to Visual Act Bench, a new benchmark for vision language models, or VLMs.
This sounds like a big step for embodied AI. For robotics.
It is. Until now, we've really focused on a VLM's ability to, perceive and describe images.
Just to see things.
Right. Visual Act Bench tests their ability to act in a human-like way. It's testing complex interaction and spatial reasoning.
So it moves the conversation from just reading what's on the screen to actual real-world agency.
Which is absolutely essential for any kind of practical robotics deployment.
We also saw a key paper focused on pure efficiency.
Yeah.
Getting powerful AI to run locally on the device itself.
Yes, this was on ArcSigs. It proposes using z-score normalization for feature compression in split inference models.
That sounds a bit academic. What's the practical outcome?
Well, they're basically figuring out how to shrink the data package that gets sent between a device and the cloud, but without losing the crucial information.
And they're building this into the MPEG standard for machine learning codecs.
Exactly. It reduces overhead and improves the final task accuracy.
So for anyone developing for edge AI, this is immediately useful.
Oh, absolutely. The experiment showed a 17.09% reduction in byte rate on average.
Wow.
And that number goes up to 65% for certain tasks, like object tracking. This breakthrough just makes edge systems cheaper, faster, and more reliable.
Think remote medical AI or advanced drones.
Exactly. Less reliance on that constant high bandwidth connection to the cloud.
Now let's turn to the Chinese AI ecosystem. We're seeing both scale and specialization being deployed at the same time.
We are. Tencent released Hunyuan 2.0, and they're using a powerful mixture of experts architecture.
This seems like a definitive competitive play.
It is. They're positioning it with enhanced reasoning and instruction following, and the scale is just massive.
What are we talking about, parameter-wise?
We're talking 406 billion total parameters, with 32 billion activated at any given time. And it proved its strength by hitting 83.1% accuracy on the IMO 2025 benchmark.
So they're firmly establishing themselves against the big Western models.
For sure. And right alongside that, Zhipu AI went in a different direction.
They open-sourced their GLM 4.6V series.
Yes, including a lightweight 9 billion parameter multimodal version. This is a classic open source market strategy.
Expanding the ecosystem in China.
Right, with models featuring an impressive 128,000 token context window.
But the part that really caught my eye, the API prices for the lightweight version.
They're completely free.
Is that just about open source ideology? Or is it a calculated play to grab developers before a big closed model, like Meta's rumored Avocado, launches next year?
I think it's mostly a strategic calculation. The resources needed for a 406 billion parameter model are immense.
Right.
Offering a lightweight version for free just lowers the barrier to entry for millions of developers. It's a land grab strategy focused on developer mindshare.
That focus on developers brings us perfectly into the product segment.
Yep. The battle to become the AI agent platform is really heating up, and the key term you need to know here is the Model Context Protocol, or MCP.
MCP. It was developed by Anthropic, now under the Linux Foundation.
And it's becoming the critical infrastructure. It's the standard for how AI agents securely access and interact with other applications. And it hit critical mass today, led by Adobe.
Adobe made a huge statement. They integrated native image editing through Photoshop and PDF modification in Acrobat, directly inside ChatGPT.
All using natural language prompts. This is OpenAI's most significant third-party integration yet.
And the number is just staggering.
It gives Adobe exposure to 800 million weekly ChatGPT users globally.
Wow.
It transforms ChatGPT from, a simple chat interface into something that looks more and more like a core operating system.
Meanwhile, Google's tackling the same MCP challenge, but from the infrastructure side.
That's right. Google Cloud launched fully managed remote MCP servers.
So they're taking their core services, like Maps and BigQuery,
and making them way easier for third-party AI agents to access, no matter whose language model is running the agent.
It's a smart move. They're positioning Google Cloud as the necessary agent infrastructure.
So they profit no matter who wins the model war.
Okay, moving to the consumer experience. Amazon rolled out details on its Dialogue Boost AI feature for Prime Video.
Finally, a solution for those action movies where you can't hear the plot over the explosions.
You are not alone in that frustration.
I mean, this feature addresses a huge consumer pain point. It's technically complex.
How does it work?
It analyzes the audio to find the exact frequencies where dialogue is being drowned out by music or sound effects, and then it boosts the clarity of just the speech.
And it offers 3 different levels of enhancement, too.
Low, medium, and high. It's all about accessibility.
And Spotify is also pushing deeper into personalization.
With their AI-powered prompted playlists. It's in beta for premium users in New Zealand right now.
This shifts the whole dynamic of recommendation, doesn't it?
It really does. Instead of a passive algorithm deciding what you want, it becomes an active dialogue.
So you can just describe a complex mood or a specific scenario in plain language.
And it generates a playlist for you. It's a move toward giving the user way more creative control.
Across the Pacific, Alibaba also showed strong practical deployment with their new text-to-speech model, Qwen 3 TTS.
This model supports 10 languages and 9 dialects. And it's already being piloted in Shanghai schools for dialect dictation.
So real-world utility in education, right out of the gate.
Exactly. It achieved a high mean opinion score, or MOS, of 4.53. That score indicates really impressive, natural-sounding speech, which is crucial for sensitive deployments like in schools.
Okay, now we enter the core geopolitical segment. The chip war is not abstract anymore.
Not at all. It's leading to direct and, frankly, drastic measures from manufacturers.
The headline is that NVIDIA is developing chip location tracking technology.
This is a direct response to the massive gray market and smuggling operations we're seeing.
How does it work?
The source says NVIDIA is testing optional location verification software, starting with their Blackwell chips. It tracks the chip's geographic location using communication delays between servers.
Creating a kind of digital chain of custody.
Exactly.
And the need for that technology was immediately validated by the U.S. Department of Justice.
It was. They announced a major shutdown of a China-linked AI chip smuggling network.
And the scale of this is just astonishing.
The DOJ charged 4 people for smuggling an incredible $160 million worth of NVIDIA H100 and H200 chips to China.
Over just 7 months.
And they were routing them through Malaysia. This proves 2 things: the immense black market demand and the fact that current export controls just aren't enough without this kind of tracking.
The stakes have gone from simple enforcement to active digital counter-surveillance.
That's a good way to put it.
And that same surging demand is driving new performance records.
Right. NVIDIA and CoreWeave achieved a record-breaking performance on the Graph 500 benchmark.
Using a massive array of H100 GPUs.
8,192 of them. They achieved 410 trillion traversed edges per second, or TEPS.
And that metric? What does it tell you?
It tells you how fast they can process highly complex, irregular data relationships. It doubled prior benchmarks and accelerates workloads that are essential for things like scientific simulation and advanced cybersecurity.
The financial market is definitely reflecting all this intense infrastructure build-out.
For sure. SK Hynix, the South Korean memory chip maker, confirmed it's reviewing a U.S. stock market listing.
And they're a key supplier of high-bandwidth memory, or HBM, for AI processors.
This really highlights that the HBM suppliers are now just as critical to the AI boom as the GPU makers.
And the demand has turbocharged their stock.
Their valuation has surged nearly 230% in 2025 alone. A U.S. listing would give them access to much deeper capital markets to fund the massive expansion HBM requires.
Finally, in infrastructure, Google is doubling down on its internal expertise.
They've promoted Amin Vadat to Chief Technologist for AI Infrastructure.
This is a leadership consolidation, right?
It is. He'll oversee key proprietary components, like their custom TPUs and their Jupyter networking fabric. This move bolsters Google's internal expertise amid a massive 100 million-fold compute surge they've had to manage.
So they're fully committed to proprietary hardware as a competitive edge.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk risk and regulation. The biggest policy story today came from OpenAI.
It did. They issued a profound and very public warning
That next-generation models pose a high cybersecurity risk.
This is a definitive, sobering moment. OpenAI explicitly stated that future models could enable working zero-day exploits.
And they anchored this with a powerful metric.
They did. Their new model, GPT-5.1 Codex Max, scored 76% on Capture the Flag security challenges in November.
76%. What was it before?
Just 3 months earlier, it was at 27%.
That velocity is just staggering.
It is. And the company is responding by launching a Frontier Risk Council of external experts.
And in parallel, the industry is trying to build standards for safe autonomous deployment.
Right, with the launch of the Agentic AI Foundation, or AAIF.
This is backed by all the big players: OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft.
All under the Linux Foundation. They're trying to establish shared standards for autonomous agents. They recognize that incompatible standards would just stifle adoption and create new security risks.
And they're getting immediate buy-in.
They are. One of their components, agents.md, has already been adopted by over 60,000 open source projects.
Now, turning to regulation, we're seeing some signs of realism in the European Union.
Yes, proposed amendments to the EU AI Act aim to ease some of the really demanding high-risk compliance pressure.
This feels like a necessary course correction.
It is. The EU is realizing they wrote the rulebook before the technology was fully built. The changes would delay some high-risk obligations by linking deadlines to when supporting technical standards are actually available.
Acknowledging how fast the field is moving.
Exactly.
On the U.S. front, a bipartisan coalition of state attorneys general sent a strong warning to 13 major tech firms.
And their concern is focused entirely on user experience and psychological safety.
Specifically targeting what they call delusional AI responses that could be linked to mental health hazards.
Right. This coordinated state action signals growing concern about AI-generated psychological harm. They're pushing for stronger accountability and pre-release audits.
Focusing on the product's impact, not just the underlying tech.
Exactly.
And finally, South Korea announced mandatory labeling for AI-generated ads starting in 2026.
This is a direct measure to combat deepfake fraud in commercial content. South Korean officials are ramping up screening. They identified over 97,600 illegal online ads in 2024 alone.
So they're getting ahead of it, which seems necessary given the quality of the new models we discussed.
It's very necessary.
Okay, let's zoom out to the massive geopolitical spending race. India has officially become the central theater in the global AI battleground.
The numbers are just staggering. And what's truly mind-blowing is that this is mostly Western capital flowing into one emergent market. It suggests a desperate rush for strategic influence.
Amazon announced a commitment of up to $35 billion in India by 2030.
Directed toward AI-driven digitization, exports, and boosting small business adoption.
And this came right alongside Microsoft committing $17.5 billion over 4 years.
Which is their largest investment ever in Asia. And it's focused on expanding cloud and AI infrastructure to build sovereign capabilities.
So if you combine Amazon's $35 billion, Microsoft's $17.5, and Google's pre-announced $15 billion.
You have an unprecedented roughly $68 billion AI infrastructure race underway in one country.
And Microsoft is also pledging to train 20 million Indians in essential AI skills by 2030.
This competition just confirms India as the world's most contested, high-stakes emerging AI market.
On the partnership side, Google DeepMind announced a sweeping partnership with the UK government.
This includes priority access to their AI for science models and opening the UK's first automated research lab in 2026.
Focused on accelerating materials discovery for things like superconductors.
Exactly. They ran a pilot that showed Gemini saved teachers 10 hours a week on admin tasks. This is AI being formally embedded as an engine for national strategic priorities.
And the U.S. defense sector is moving quickly, too.
It is. Google Cloud's Gemini for Government was selected as the first enterprise AI deployed on the Pentagon's GenAI.mil platform.
This is a major government adoption milestone.
It means a commercial frontier model is now accessible to about 3 million civilian and military personnel for unclassified tasks, like summarizing policy handbooks.
So the formal adoption of commercial models for defense support has begun.
It has.
Wait, if the resource needs are this massive and the geopolitical stakes are this high, what does that mean for the ideological side of the AI movement?
That's the big question.
Reports indicate Meta is developing a new model, codenamed Avocado, that might launch as a closed, revenue-generating product.
This would be a massive strategic reversal for Mark Zuckerberg and a potential repudiation of the company's entire open-source Llama strategy.
So what's driving it?
It signals that the brutal economics of scaling superintelligence, the immense cost of chips, power, and talent are forcing even the most ardent proponents of open models to pivot.
To models designed purely for deep, closed-source revenue generation, just to stay competitive.
That seems to be the direction.
Okay, let's connect all this to the bigger picture. A couple of tools and resources you can use today that relate directly to what we've discussed.
First, check out the NVIDIA Aerial Omniverse Digital Twin. It was highlighted at the 6G Developer Day. It lets developers simulate 6G CUDA code using a radio access network digital twin.
So you can test complex infrastructure before you build it.
Exactly.
Second, for medical AI, there is the MedVision dataset on Hugging Face.
This is a standardized, unified dataset of 3D medical images for foundation model training. It's designed to streamline the really difficult pre-processing for large-scale clinical AI development.
And now, our numbers of the day.
Number 1, $35 billion. That is the unprecedented commitment by Amazon to invest in India by 2030, solidifying the country as the central theater in the global AI infrastructure race.
A figure we have to track closely.
Absolutely.
Number 2.
6x. That is the reported gap in productivity between power users and median workers using enterprise AI tools.
And that's based on a new OpenAI report analyzing over 7 million user seats.
It just highlights the massive need for better training and workflow integration globally.
So if we connect the policy, the geopolitics, and the corporate strategy from today.
The central tension is really clear. It's the simultaneous drive for global scale, like that huge India investment race, colliding directly with the need for localized control.
Evidenced by the AI Act delays and, most dramatically, the need for chip tracking technology.
Exactly.
Which raises an important question for you to mull over. If the pressure to monetize superintelligence is leading giants like Meta to potentially abandon the open source movement, what will be the lasting impact on smaller, competing labs and on the future direction of AI innovation in 2026? Think about what happens when only the giants can afford to innovate at the frontier.